What's up, guys? This is Sammy Geek back here with another video, and today's video is on the GTR 3 Pro and what are my top 10 features of this watch. I've grown to love this brand, Amazfit, and to date, I think this is probably my favorite smartwatch, and I've tried every smartwatch under the sun out there, you guys. So let's go through my top 10 features, and they're in no specific order, but I will run through and let you guys know what have been my top favorite features since I've owned this thing for about a couple weeks now. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, guys, number one is going to be the looks. The looks of this watch, this is probably one of my favorite looking watches that I've owned, and I've had them all, and I do need to apologize. You might see a little bit of dust around the edge of the screen here, and it's because I'm using a screen protector from a different watch. I've actually ordered some screen protectors that are a perfect fit for this watch, but I did want to put something on temporarily. So you guys will kind of get the idea here of what this watch looks like though. This watch comes in two different colors. It kind of comes in this, if you want to call it bronzy silver color. And then of course it does come in a black. So I prefer the silver. To me, it looks like it has a slight hue of gold to it in person. But for the most part, it's just like a brushed aluminum sort of look per se. And I promised on my last video that I would show you guys what it looks like with a sport band here. And so this is one of my 22mm sport bands that I threw on this watch. I do have the display turned on right now. It's not always on display. It's actually turned so it stays on. And I do have the brightness cranked all the way up for this video. But the looks of this thing is probably my number one. All right, for number two, we are going to get into the always on display. So I'm gonna actually turn this on to always on display. And you really can't see it right now because I have bright lights overhead. And but you gotta trust me, there's a lot of different watch faces with this, and the always on display is awesome. The reason that I know a lot of watches out there have always on display, but for me, the $10 million kicker on this watch is that the battery life is awesome with this always on display. So number three is the utility of the watch. Not saying that a lot of watches don't have this, but it's the utility of this watch. I guess it's just the ease of use, because of course you have your flashlight and your timers and your weather and your widgets and everything that you need and could possibly use is there, your alarm clocks and so forth. And most watches have that, but again, that's my number three feature of this watch. It just has everything built in. You can actually go into the weather on this guy and see if it is a good day to get a car wash. And I'm like, man, that's cool. And it doesn't overdo it because it's not overly complicated to be able to use all this stuff. Whereas Samsung, and of course I'm a big Samsung fan, but I think that Samsung, I don't know, it feels like it's a little bit more overcomplicated compared to this particular platform. Number four. The number four reason that I absolutely love this watch, and it's my go-to, and I think it's the watch for 2022 to beat, is the customization that you can set with this guy. So I did talk about this briefly on one of my previous videos, and let me turn back on the display here so you guys can look at that. And being able to go in and set this guy so you can, number one, the way that I've got this set right now is there's a mode that you can turn on, and I think I have accidentally shut it off here. Let me go back in here and reset this. So I've got this now set for, I'm gonna set it for 20 minutes. So now this will stay lit up for 20 minutes, 20 full minutes. For whatever reason, if you want your display lit up constantly, then you have the ability to do that. And so if you have a really cool watch display and you want to show it off to your friends, you want to keep it lit up for whatever reason, you go ahead and select that 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, it'll kick on to whatever the default setting is that you have. So always on display or off. And again, this goes back to number four, the customization. You can change three different important things to me here. Is one, the always on display timer. When do you want it to, a customization on when do you want it to start, when do you want it to end. Also the wrist functionality, so turn to wake essentially. You can create your own customization for when it does that. Do you want it to do it from 7 in the morning till 7 at night? Do you want it to do it from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m.? You can set that. So essentially you can have always on display on, but maybe you want wake to turn on at a certain time. And then you can always, lastly, you can set do not disturb mode. at any given time as well. And there's a lot of different functionality in between that as well. So you can do touch to wake and so forth. So just the customization is crazy awesome with this watch. And what that really translates to is really good battery power and ease of use, because you don't have to set anything. You set it once and it's done, and it just runs on the calendar. Number five is Alexa support. So if I press and hold this, Alexa will come up and you'll be able to ask it whatever you want to. If you want to adjust your lighting or do whatever you want to do with Alexa, and I'm going to actually shut this off. So yes, you can set that. You can set up Alexa once and then be able to do any command through Alexa. Now, it will not do voice back to you, so it won't actually say anything back through the watch, but it will, you'll get a readout there. So if you ask Alexa to do some sort of functionality. So that's cool, it's built into this watch. So number 6, let's see if I can get it to do it here. It's probably not gonna do it, so I might have to shut this, put always on display down. So when I turn this watch right now, pay attention to this little bottom corner. Open timer. So there you go. That's one example of voice control. Number 8, the workouts of this thing. So I'm gonna go through that more in detail probably in my next video, because for time's sake here, I don't wanna get too crazy. But this thing tells you every single thing that you'd wanna know about workout. It tells you the training effect and the recovery time, and it tells you your cardio and your aerobic and anaerobic, and I mean, you name it, and it's there, and it's so easy to read that I can't get enough of it. It's just awesome. Number 9 is the sleep. The sleep for me is great, and I'm gonna go through here and show you guys that. So you can look at that on the watch or the phone itself. And so there's my sleep score from last night. It was kind of a funky one last night as well, but there's my sleep score, and then you can kind of go through and it'll tell you the awake time, REM, light sleep, deep sleep. I didn't have a lot of deep sleep last night, but just real quick and easy on the watch, you can see that. And I think it's simplified, and I think it's pretty accurate. So I would say it is one of my favorite features, but it's mostly accurate with exception of maybe the awake times. Sometimes it doesn't register like me as being awake if I'm not fully sleeping because of storm or wind or something to that effect that's just kind of keeping me up, or noise or whatever it might be. But for the most part, I think it's accurate, and I usually can tell based on my sleep score that the watch has given me of how I feel. So it's pretty on par. Again, it's not scientific, but it gives you good information. And for me, it falls in like that number 9 category. So number 10 is the rotating crown. So I had the previous Samsungs that actually had the rotating bezel, which you could kind of click through. So this is, for me, I've had it before, but you also remember my last watch was the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, and then I tried the Galaxy Watch 4, which did not have that. It kind of had the virtual, if you want to call it the virtual bezel that you could touch. So this one actually, you can spin this little button here and the rotating crown, or you can use it with your hand. So I like that. It's a pretty cool feature. Sometimes I like to just buzz through here and get to what I'm going, and it actually has haptic feedback. So for each time it skips something, you actually feel the watch vibrate. So it's pretty cool. I think it's a useful function, and I like it. I think it adds to the style of the watch. Peace out, guys. Talk to you soon. Hopefully this helps. Bye.